Hello everyone, I am Left, and today, welcome back to a new video, everybody. I've been frankly really unmotivated to do Vainglory stuff recently, so I decided to make this video today, which is going to detail my journey into starting to play Vainglory all the way up until, kind of the end of the timeline. Well, it's not obviously the end, it's still going, but until now, if that makes more sense. But anyways, I started playing Vainglory in late May of 2015 during patch 1.4, right before the release of Fortress. And yeah, so Vainglory was not per se the beginning of me playing competitive mobile games, if that makes sense. Now you might be thinking, well, Vainglory is the competitive mobile game. How did you do that before Vainglory existed? So, to explain that, you would have to be able to view the about 50 deleted videos on my channel there from like 2013 and 2014. And I used to play competitive Battle Bears on my iPod Touch as a middle schooler. That is how I got into mobile gaming. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what's that game? I've never heard of it. And I don't blame you. It was a really niche game, but it was a lot like Overwatch is today, but it was for phones and tablets. I had so much fun on that game. My friends at school played it. There was a community forum for it that was literally in the app called Open Faint. I don't know if that name rings any bells. Heck, maybe even some of the people that I played that with back in the day are watching this video. That was me. But anyways, I was big in that game. Was a sniper class main, and back when the sniper class was totally overpowered. And yeah, that game was just really, really fun, and it's what got me into the idea of competitive mobile gaming, if that makes sense. Sometimes I wish I could go back and play that game, but it's changed so much, and the developers of that game have real economy problems. Like, there used to be this sniper skin that costed the equivalent of like $100, and then all of a sudden, randomly with a patch one day, they make it like $5. Like, come on. That's not how it works, guys. But that's a thing of the past. Anyways, so fast forward to about 2015 before I start to play Vainglory, and I had this friend at school named Eric who was huge into League of Legends, and he was always trying to get me to play League with him, saying, "You'll love MOBAs, League is amazing," and I keep telling him, "Eric, I don't have a PC. I don't have any plans to get a PC. I don't think I can get a PC until I go to college, which is like 3 years away. So I'm sorry, Eric, I can't play League with you." So I go home and I look at some League gameplay, some League esports on YouTube, and I'm like, wow, I actually want to do this now. But still no PC. So I went and Googled on my iPhone 6 League of Legends like game for phone. Vainglory was the first thing to come up, and I downloaded it. I got into Vainglory really quickly. I think I spent like 4 hours the first night that I played it, just playing Kashka and Ringo, because those were the heroes that you would get for free back then, and then the free-to-play heroes too. I remember this was the patch where Jewel was just the most busted thing in the entire universe, because her big red button dealt 3 massive ticks of damage instead of dealing damage over 1.5 seconds. So you could basically instantly delete somebody. I think if you scroll down far enough on Rumbly Superset's channel, you can find gameplay of patch 1.4, and that is the Jewel I'm talking about. So I think I spent about 4 hours just like playing Kashka and Ringo, trying to figure out how this game worked. Where do I tap? What do I tap? What do these abilities do? I remember just like the sheer joy I felt when I would actually get a kill on somebody instead of dying or running into a turret was like amazing. And from there, my love for the game only grew, and it led me to join the Vainglory community forums. Can I get an F in the chat? They no longer exist. For some reason, SCMC took the servers for them down. I made so many friends on the Vainglory community forums, and probably a few enemies too. The Vainglory community forums was my gateway into like becoming a part of the Vainglory community. if that makes sense. There was so much content on there every day, lots of dedicated users. The mods were cool at first. Later maybe not so much, but yeah, the Vainglory community forums was the next step for me. I think I joined in early June, like right as Fortress released, pretty much. So yeah, after that came the VIPL tournament in Korea. This was the first big Vainglory esports tournament ever. It was live at the OGN Arena in Korea. This was the thing that made me realize that I wanted to keep playing Vainglory, and I wanted to do what they were doing. Like, getting to see Gangstar Sirius up there playing against the Koreans, Iraqi Zoro, Meek, and Gabe Vizzle all on one team. That was amazing. At the time while it was going on, I was over visiting my aunt and uncle in Minnesota, and I accidentally killed the limit on their Wi-Fi bill because I was up at 5, 6 in the morning watching the VIPL on Korean time on my phone. And I did not know that they had a cap on their data for their Wi-Fi. But yeah, that's a thing that happened. So the VIPL was just like a huge experience for me, and it's what made me realize that I wanted to play Vainglory to an even higher level. So after that came Challenger Season 0. Challenger Season 0 featured 128 teams, most of which probably forfeited now that I think about it. My team was myself, a tier 6, my brother, a tier 4, and some random guy from the forums who never showed up and we had to forfeit. Now, we probably would have lost anyways because the team we were up against was Ben Tim 1, Rumbly Superset, and Oracle. So they were all like tier 9 and 10. You could tell we were really low seed. But yeah, we ended up playing 2v3 in a private match against Ben Tim 1, Rumbly Superset, and Oracle. And it was actually just, I don't know, getting to talk to them and get a taste of what it's like to play against really high tier players was fun. So shortly after that, I started my YouTube channel. Starting my YouTube channel was what I saw as my my pipeline to getting a foot in the door in the Vainglory community, making sure that people could recognize me, that I was a name that people would understand, that I could actually stand for something and not be a random, or not have people say literally who if my name popped up. So that's originally why I started the YouTube channel. Growing on there was really hard. For about the first year, I never got more than 500 views on a video. I would have maybe 100 after a few days of one going up. But I knew that it would be like that, so I just kept going. And still today, I mean, ratios aren't very good, but that's my own fault because I don't upload very often. And sometimes I'm lazy, sometimes I don't have ideas, sometimes I just don't feel like editing. But when I do actually make something for you guys that I'm proud of and is good, that makes it worth it. During that time, guilds had first released in Vainglory, and for this part I just want to give a shout out to my two best guilds that I was in Vainglory. So the guild that I joined, the biggest guild that I joined first was the Vision Guild. Now, this was like a 100 out of 100 count guild. Well, actually it was 50 back then. It was a 50 count guild, completely full. We had an active Discord server, we had party game nights. Back before even Battle Royale existed, we were playing our own version of Battle Royale. And other alumni of this guild you might know include Brutal Turtle, the former analyst for the Echo Fox Vainglory team, and then Maokai and Ali Peterson, formerly from Tilt Rehab, were also in Vision with me, under different names, of course. And then after that, I joined Team TAS, which was they were a team in the first Vainglory esports tournament after the VIPL. It was in like January, I think. But yeah, one of my best friends in that guild was Guard. He's the one who got me in the first place. And I don't know, we didn't really do much in that guild. One notable member of the guild though was Closet Nerd. If you don't know Closet Nerd, he's the guy that used to own, I think he still does own Team Phoenix, but now he's like the VP of something at ESP. who is now supposedly producing the VPL. So I knew Closet Nerd back when he was just a random that was playing Vainglory in our guild. And then all of a sudden he became like the owner of Team Phoenix and this, like, I don't know, this hugely important person. So that was cool. After that came the Summer 2016 Challenger Cup, in which I was on a team that consisted of Guard, myself, and Iponyu, who used to play for Team Phoenix and went to Korea for the 3rd VIPL, I believe. He was always so funny. I loved playing with him. And Guard too, although he never really talked. We got put out in the Elite 8 by Necrolite in the Summer 2016 Challengers. And then from there, we moved on to the Autumn 2016 Challengers. Now, as most Challenger teams do, our team broke up, and my team in Autumn 2016 was myself, Sick High from the community forums, he was always the best player on the community forums, and then our other player was Cynical. Now, this team was actually really good and fun to be on. We actually cared a lot about what we were doing. We had set times where we'd practice. We would watch our gameplay back, and at our peak, we beat Team Secret in a 3-on-3 ranked match when they flew over for the Samsung Galaxy Invitational in Vegas. Anyways, we ended up going out in the Elite 8 to Necrolite again. It was Necrolite both times. Now, if you don't remember that team, it's the one that used to be like Lightning T and Stand and Solo. They were a good Challenger team for a long time, although they never actually made it big. So from there, I realized that I knew a lot about the game, but with my job that my parents had me start as a senior in high school, I didn't really have time to play competitively anymore. So that's what kind of pushed me into I wanted to move to coaching. At this point, I started shifting the videos on my channel from being gameplay montage focused to being learning and coaching focused. This was a deliberate focus because I wanted to be able to get my name out there about like being somebody that's knowledgeable about the game, or being somebody that can draft, being somebody that can coach players. And it ended up working because in like May of that year, I was contacted on Twitter by Starboy, who wanted to see if I could be the analyst for Team Rage Pingers. Team of Truth, Starboy, the Big Dog, and Edial. This is the team that would go on to win the Challenger Cup in spring 2016 and become Nova Esports later. Now, I said yes, but as I was saying yes, sometime also that day they were contacted by Nova to be bought up, and Nova had a coach ready for them. So, unlucky for me. Between then and when I actually joined Nova, I was trying to get onto the team that was Tempo Storm back then, but something happened with that and it fell through. And in hindsight, I'm glad I never joined Tempo Storm because they got relegated, and I don't think I could have saved them. So from there on, I was just teamless, and until one day I realized that the marketing director of Nova followed me on Twitter and liked one of my tweets about one of my videos. And that was Itanazma, who's no longer with Nova, but he is the one who helped me get into Nova as like a Vainglory analyst type person, and so thankful to him. He helped me with so much, played a lot of PUBG together with him, and he's the one who really helped me get into being a full-time analyst / coach for Nova. And from there, the rest is history. There was the autumn season 2017, and yeah. Wait, there's a time gap there. I forgot the entire year of 2017. Actually, it was 2017 when I joined Nova, so I missed an entire year of me just making videos. I forgot to put that in the script, sorry. But come autumn 2017, I finally joined Nova as their analyst, and yeah, that's pretty much as close as it gets to today. There really nothing interesting has happened besides the preseason where we got second. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later.